On a quiet, wind-swept night in Cheongdam, when most of Seoul had already begun to doze beneath the glow of street lamps, a single silhouette emerged from the entrance of an upscale residential complex. The air was crisp, almost unnervingly still, as if the city itself was holding its breath. In that silence, a pair of cautious footsteps echoed, light, measured, and unmistakably familiar to anyone who had followed the Korean entertainment scene for years. I'm YoonA, one of the nation's most iconic actresses and long-standing visual center. Step into the faint light spilling from the building's lobby. Her face was partially obscured by a dark cap and a white mask. But even the effort to hide couldn't completely erase the elegant posture that fans worldwide had come to instantly recognize. She moved quickly, yet not frantically, like someone who had done this before. The dim lights traced the outline of her oversized coat of warm beige that fluttered gently as she crossed the pavement. A black sedan idled near the entrance. Lights kept off intentionally to avoid drawing attention. Driver, presumably her manager, slipped out of the vehicle, glancing around with the hyper-alertness of someone used to avoiding the press. His posture stiffened when he saw her approach, and he opened the rear door without a word. This was not the usual bright, public YoonA greeting fans with her warm-eye smile. This was a version of her rarely seen in the wild, a woman moving with secrecy, silence, and careful awareness of every shadow around her. It would have been just another quiet night in the life of an A-list celebrity had the building behind her not belonged to none other than Jun-ho, idol-turned-actor, global star, and the male half of one of the most celebrated on-screen couples in recent years. The moment the pair starred in King the Land, fans and critics alike had noted their effortless chemistry, the kind that transcended scripted lines and camera angles. They sparked rumors the way fire ignites dry grass, instantly, uncontrollably. But as agencies issued bland denials and months passed without any confirmed sightings, the speculation had begun to fade, until tonight. A faint click broke the silence. Not loud enough to be alarming, but sharp enough for anyone accustomed to the sound of a camera shutter to recognize. One of the few reporters lingering in the area, acting on a hunch rather than a tip, had positioned himself across the street. He had waited for hours in the biting cold, unsure whether his instincts were misguided. And then, at the moment YoonA stepped into view, his breath fogged the lens as he captured the shot that would soon ignite the entire entertainment world. The timing was too perfect to be coincidence, too intimate a setting to be dismissed as mere visiting a colleague. The scene unfolded like a slow-burn drama, YoonA pausing briefly before entering the car, as if listening for something behind her. Her eyes flicked upward toward the higher floors, though making sure the lights in the apartment she had just left remained off. The manager subtly guided her into the back seat, shielding her from any lingering gazes. The door clicked shut, and the sedan rolled forward, keeping its speed steady, avoiding any sudden movements that might attract attention. But even in that seemingly uneventful moment, there was something undeniably charged, an energy that felt both forbidden and quietly tender. What had she been doing there at that hour? Why leave so secretly, so cautiously? If the visit were purely innocent? The questions bubbled instantly into the mind of the reporter as he reviewed the images on his camera screen. The composition was perfect, the building entrance, the actress's unmistakable silhouette, the car waiting in the shadows. It was, without exaggeration, the kind of photo that could alter the direction of an entire news cycle. To understand the gravity of that moment, one must revisit the intertwined histories of YoonA and Jun-ho, two titans of Korean entertainment who had risen to fame along parallel paths. Their meeting on King the Land had been a calculated casting choice at first, two charming visuals with proven talent and immense fan bases. Yet it quickly became clear that the chemistry between them was not simply good acting, but something layered and complex. Behind-the-scenes videos often showed them laughing together a little too naturally, leaning in a bit too closely, exchanging glances that lingered a heartbeat longer than the camera required. Their agencies had dismissed dating rumors repeatedly. The public remembered moments that felt far too coincidental. Accessories, overlapping schedules even when they had no joint promotions. A stylist's Instagram story showing two mugs on a table with initials that fans claimed belonged to them. A fan who swore she saw them at a small cafe in Hanam late last year, though no proof followed. Each incident had been brushed away as misunderstandings. When woven together, the pattern was hard to ignore. Tonight's sighting added the missing piece to rebuild the timeline of the night. Reporters began digging almost immediately after the first photos were captured. Based on security footage acquired later, YoonA had entered the building around 7:40 p.m. casually and alone. She wore a long coat and no visible makeup, suggesting she had not come for work or a scheduled meeting. The neighborhood's traffic cameras caught the image of her taxi turning the corner, her face partially visible through the window. Her head down, scrolling on her phone, seemingly unaware that her every move would be scrutinized within hours. A neighbor later came forward with a vague but intriguing statement. "I saw a slim figure slipping into the elevator. I thought it looked like someone famous, but I didn't want to seem nosy." Another resident recalled seeing Jun-ho earlier that evening returning home carrying 2 convenience store bags, snacks, drinks, maybe a late-night meal. Perhaps insignificant on its own, but suspiciously timely when paired with YoonA's arrival. The security guard on duty appeared nervous when questioned by media the next day. "Many people come and go," he said, avoiding eye contact. "I cannot confirm anything." His tone carried the wary caution of someone who knew more than he could say. What happened inside the apartment between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. remains unknown. But what is certain is this: YoonA did not leave until well past midnight. Nighttime departures have always raised red flags among Korean entertainment reporters. It is a pattern seen in countless past celebrity dating cases, keeping meetings out of public view, choosing late hours to avoid detection, on staff to quietly manage transportation. She finally exited the building. Her movements were quick and intentional. She did not glance around nervously like someone caught off guard, but rather moved with the familiarity of someone who had rehearsed this. Manager's presence, the muted headlights, lack of additional staff all suggested an effort to remain unseen. But unseen, she was not. Minutes of the first photo being taken, the reporter sent it to his editor, who immediately recognized its potential. Messages flew across newsroom group chats. "Is this really YoonA? Whose house is that? Is this Jun-ho's building? Do we confirm now or wait for agency response?" The questions mounted as the team rushed to verify details. Once confirmation came that the address indeed belonged to Lee Jun-ho, everything changed. As dawn crept over Seoul, the photo had already been shared among journalists, industry insiders, and social media accounts notorious for breaking celebrity news. By the time the public woke up, rumors had evolved into a full-blown storm. Hashtags soared to the top of Korean trends: YoonA, Jun-ho, dating rumor, late-night visit. Fan communities exploded with reaction threads. Supporters posted excited messages like "finally, they're perfect together," while others expressed heartbreak or disbelief. Some scolded reporters for invading privacy, while others insisted the truth had been obvious for months. Korean netizens filled comment sections with speculation. Their chemistry was too real. "This explains everything." Dispatches starting early this year. National fans joined the frenzy, with posts in English, Japanese, Thai, and Vietnamese spreading rapidly. One agreed on the meaning of the sighting, but everyone agreed on one thing: this was huge. Industry insiders, too, were caught off guard. Several claimed they had heard rumors of closeness but had no concrete evidence until now. Others insisted the pair were just colleagues who grew comfortable after filming. But the silence from the agencies, SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment, fueled speculation far more than any rumor could. When agencies respond quickly, rumors often die. When they hesitate, the public senses a story. The night's sighting was more than coincidence, more than a casual visit. It was the kind of moment that forces even the most skeptical observers to reconsider. And yet, what happened the next morning, the shift in agency behavior, the rapid escalation of coverage, new revelations gathered by reporters, would transform this from a simple late-night sighting into one of the most explosive entertainment stories of the year. By the time Seoul fully woke up, the late-night sighting of YoonA leaving Lee Jun-ho's home had already spun the entire entertainment industry into chaos. What began as a single grainy photograph quickly escalated into the biggest story of the week, dominating headlines, broadcasts, every corner of social media. Newsrooms scrambled, fans panicked, and international media joined the frenzy as hashtags bearing their names climbed to the top of trends across Korea, Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, and beyond. The true tension, however, gathered around the silence of both agencies. SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment, normally swift in quashing rumors, remained unusually quiet. Reporters flooded them with calls. Yet no response came. Insiders whispered that emergency meetings were held before sunrise. Executives debating whether denial would even be believable at this point. For many, the silence itself felt like confirmation. Fans dug into the past. Old clips resurfaced, the way they laughed a little too naturally during press events. Warmth in the behind-the-scenes interactions. The press conference moment where their eyes met before they answered in unison. Suddenly, every glance, every smile, shared joke felt like a puzzle piece finally sliding into place. Social media detectives uncovered overlapping travel schedules, matching accessories, and even a late-night dinner photo Jun-ho had posted only days earlier, a table set for two. Captioned with a cryptic line that now seemed impossibly suggestive. Then came the whispers. West claimed the pair had been closer than most co-stars. A production staff member said they often stayed behind after rehearsals, talking quietly. None of it was concrete. The accumulation of hints painted a picture too compelling to ignore. Even past interviews took on new meaning. YoonA once said she valued someone warm who makes me laugh easily, while Jun-ho had described having someone he deeply cherished in his life. At the time, the comments felt general. Today, they felt prophetic. By afternoon, the industry was divided. Reporters celebrated the possibility of two beloved stars finding comfort in each other. Skeptics insisted the sighting could still be innocent. Others criticized the invasion of privacy, arguing that even celebrities deserve moments away from the public eye. But no one could deny that the circumstances, the late hour, the secrecy, the manager waiting in the dark, fit the pattern of a private meeting meant to stay hidden. Rumors of a possible New Year's reveal began circulating, fueled by speculation that Dispatch had been quietly tracking the pair for months. The idea that this might be the long-awaited power couple reveal electrified the public even further. Still, the agencies did not budge. Their silence stretched into the evening, heavy and deliberate, leaving fans to wonder whether a statement was being prepared or avoided. As night fell again over Seoul, the questions only grew sharper. Was this the confirmation fans had been sensing since King the Land? Or was it a story inflated by coincidence, timing, and the hunger of a public eager for romance? The truth remained suspended in the same silence that began the storm. And as the world waited, one thing became clearer with every passing hour: whatever lies between YoonA and Lee Jun-ho, it is no longer a matter of rumor alone. Thing is there, felt in the stillness, whispered between agencies, read between the lines of their silence. Not a question of if. When it finally comes out,